Ladies and gentlemen, I want to start off by welcoming everyone today. Thank you for being here. I believe you didn't just come by accident, you were meant to be here. I know that something powerful happens when we gather together in faith and expectation. You're not just here to hear a message. You're here because God is getting ready to stir something new in your life. He's about to open doors you didn't even knock on. He's about to bring dreams back to life that you thought were over. It only takes one touch of His favor, one moment of His goodness to change everything today. I want to talk to you from the title, Do This Once. Sometimes in life we think we need to climb 100 mountains, fix 100 problems, chase 100 opportunities. But the truth is, there are some moments when it's not about doing everything, it's about doing one thing, one choice, one step of faith, one decision to trust, one moment of surrender. You don't have to figure it all out. You just have to be willing to do the one thing God is putting on your heart. Even it's forgiving someone who hurts you. Maybe it's finally believing that you are who God says you are. Loved, chosen, empowered. Maybe it's starting that dream you've been putting off, making that call, applying for that opportunity. If you'll do that one thing, even if it's small, it can set a new blessing into motion. God doesn't need you to move the old mountain. Just take the first step and He'll move what you cannot do. Don't miss the power of what you do once. One prayer, one kind word, one apology, one leap of faith. Sometimes your whole destiny can shift with one obedient moment. Today, I believe if you'll step out and do that one thing, you're going to step into a future better than you ever imagined. It's not going to be ordinary. It's going to be bigger, better, more rewarding, more joyful. God has some once-in-a-lifetime blessings waiting for you. But it starts when you make that once-in-a-lifetime decision to move forward in faith. It doesn't feel right. There comes a time in every person's life when you have to make a decision, a real decision, not a wish, not a hope, not a maybe someday, but a once and for all decision to believe in yourself. Not just when things are going well, not just when people are cheering you on, not just when you feel qualified, strong, or confident. You have to decide to believe in yourself when it's hard, when it's lonely, when the evidence doesn't seem to match the promise you know in your heart. Believing in yourself is not about arrogance. It's not about thinking you're better than others. It's about understanding that you were created with purpose, with gifts, with dreams that are meant to be lived out. It's about recognizing that the one who made you didn't make a mistake. You have everything you need already inside you. But if you don't make the decision to believe it, you keep living beneath your potential. You'll keep questioning, doubting, delaying. You'll keep waiting for someone else to validate you. When all along God has already given you permission to rise. There are too many people waiting for the perfect moment to start believing in themselves. They think, when I get the promotion, then I'll feel confident. When I get married, when I lose the weight, when I make more money, when people finally recognize me, then I'll believe in myself. But the truth is, if you don't believe in yourself before the door opens, you won't be ready when the opportunity comes. Faith has to come first. Confidence is not a result, it's a choice. It's a decision you make once and for all, deep down in your spirit. I am who God says I am. I am capable. I am strong. I am valuable. When you make this decision, it will change how you walk into a room. It will change how you talk about your dreams. It will change how you handle criticism, setbacks, and delays. It won't mean you're perfect. It won't mean you never have doubts, but it will mean you've settled something in your spirit. That no matter what comes, you are going to stay anchored in who you are. Your faith in yourself will no longer be tied to circumstances. It will be tied to your calling. Sometimes the reason we don't believe in ourselves is because we're carrying the old voices from the past. Voices that said you're not enough. You'll never make it. You don't have what it takes. And if you're not careful, those old voices can become your internal soundtrack. They can cause you to shrink back when you are meant to stand tall. They can cause you to settle when you were created to soar. But today, you have the power to turn the volume down on those old voices and turn up the voice of truth. The truth that says you are fearfully and wonderfully made. You are equipped for every good work. You are chosen for such a time as this. Deciding once and for all to believe in yourself is not a one-time feeling, it's a daily choice. Some days you'll wake up feeling strong and ready to take on the world. Other days you'll wake up with doubts, with insecurities, trying to creep back in. That's when you have to remind yourself of the decision you already made. You have to speak faith over your life. I am strong. I am talented. I am destined for greatness. Don't wait for your feelings to agree. Lead your feelings by the faith inside you. There will be people who don't understand your decision. People who may doubt you, who may not support you, who may try to discourage you. That's okay. They don't have to believe in you. You're not living for their approval. You're living for the assignment God has placed inside of you. Their doubts cannot stop your destiny unless you let them. Their unbelief cannot cancel the promises over your life. Stay focused. Stay faithful. Stay convinced that you are exactly who you need to be to fulfill your purpose. Believing in yourself once and for all doesn't mean you won't need to grow, to learn, to stretch. It simply means you believe that you're capable of growing, that you're worthy of the investment, that you're on your way to becoming everything you were created to be. It's a foundation you can build on. A foundation of faith, courage, and vision. Today, decide once and for all to believe in yourself. Not because everything is perfect, but because you trust the one who made you perfect for your journey. Decide that you're done second-guessing your worth. Done living in the shadows of fear. Done playing small. You have one life to live, and it's too valuable to spend it doubting yourself. Rise up, stand tall, move forward. Your destiny is waiting, and it's bigger than you can imagine. There's a heaviness that comes from carrying unforgiveness. It's not always loud. It doesn't always show up on the outside, but deep down it's there. A quiet weight that slows you down, a silent burden that keeps you from fully stepping into the life you were meant to live. Some of us have been carrying that weight for months, some for years, and often it's tied to just one person, one hurt, one memory that was never fully healed. Today it's time to forgive that one person you've been carrying in your heart. Forgiveness doesn't mean that what they did was okay. It doesn't mean you have to pretend it didn't hurt or that it didn't leave a mark. Forgiveness doesn't excuse the pain. It releases you from it. It's not about giving them a free pass. It's about giving yourself freedom. As long as you hold on to that hurt, you stay tethered to the very thing that wounded you. You keep giving it permission to affect your mood, your relationships, your peace. But the moment you choose to forgive, you cut the cord. You stop allowing yesterday's pain to dictate today's joy. You might say, yeah, but they don't deserve my forgiveness. Maybe they don't. Maybe they never apologized. Maybe they never even acknowledged the hurt they caused. But forgiveness was never meant to be about them. It's always been about you. It's about your healing, your future, your freedom. Forgiving that one person is not about letting them off the hook. It's about getting yourself off the hook. It's about refusing to carry a burden that was never yours to keep. The truth is that one person you've been carrying may not even realize the weight they left behind. They may have moved on. They may be living their life unaware of the anger, the sadness, the disappointment, still echoing inside your heart. Every time you replay what happened, every time you revisit the pain, it's like you're reliving the offense all over again. But you have the power to break that cycle. You have the authority to say, this hurt will not own me anymore. I choose to forgive. I choose to move forward. Forgiving that one person doesn't mean you have to have them back in your life. It doesn't mean you have to trust them again. Forgiveness and reconciliation are two different things. Forgiveness is a gift you give yourself. It's saying, I release you from the debt you owe me. I choose to let go so I can rise. It's an act of strength, not weakness. It's a sign that you're more interested in your destiny than you are in staying stuck in your history. Some wounds are deep. Some betrayals cut closer than others. And sometimes the hardest person to forgive is not someone far away, but someone close. A parent, a friend, a spouse, someone you loved and trusted. That's why forgiveness often feels so hard, because the deeper the love, the deeper the wound. But remember, forgiveness is not a feeling, it's a decision. You don't have to feel like forgive. You just have to be willing to take the first step. Healing will follow the decision, not the other way around. You might not wake up tomorrow feeling completely free. Sometimes forgiveness is a journey. Some days you'll have to remind yourself, I've forgiven them. I'm not picking that offense back up. I'm not carrying that weight anymore. Every time you make that choice, you're loosening the grip of the past. You're creating space for joy, for peace, for new beginnings. Think about it. How much energy, how much time, how much mental space has that one hurt taken from you? How many opportunities to laugh, to love, to dream have been shadowed by carrying that pain? You don't have to live like that. You are not a prisoner to what they did. You are not defined by how they treated you. You were defined by the grace that flows through you, a grace strong enough to forgive and bold enough to set you free. Forgiving that one person doesn't change your past, but it changes your future. It lifts the weight off your shoulders. It opens the door to new blessings. It says, I'm no longer tied to bitterness, I'm tied to hope. I'm no longer a prisoner of the past, I am a builder of a new future. Today, don't wait any longer. Don't let another day pass by carrying a burden you were never meant to bear. Forgive that one person you've been carrying in your heart. Release them, not because they earned it, but because you deserve to live free, because your future is too important, your calling is too great, and your life is too short to live weighed down by a hurt that forgiveness can heal. Every great story of success, every breakthrough, every destiny fulfilled, it all started with one bold step. Not a giant leap, not 100 steps perfectly planned out, but just one bold step toward a dream that felt bigger than the person carrying it. You don't have to have it all figured out. You don't have to know every detail, but at some point you have to take that first move, that first action, that first sign of faith that says, I believe something greater is ahead for me. Today, it's time to take one bold step toward your biggest dream. Big dreams are often intimidating. They seem too large, too far away, too complicated. You look at where you are and you look at where you want to be and it feels overwhelming. That's when fear tries to creep in and tell you it's too much. You'll never get there. Who do you think you are to even try? But fear is a liar. Fear magnifies the obstacles and minimizes your ability. Fear wants to paralyze you so that you never move, never try, never begin. But you have a choice. You can listen to fear or you can listen to faith. And faith always says, take the step. Taking one bold step doesn't mean you see the whole path. It doesn't mean you know how everything will work out. It simply means you trust enough to move. Bold steps are steps of obedience, not certainty. Bold steps are not about having all the answers. They're about answering the call you feel inside. That tug in your heart, that vision you can't shake, that idea that won't leave you alone. That's not random. That's purpose pulling you forward. And it only takes one act of courage to set the dream in motion. You may not realize it now, but one bold step can create momentum. It can open doors you couldn't see before you moved. It can bring the right people, the right resources, the right opportunities into your path. But you'll never know until you take it. That application you've been hesitating to send, that conversation you've been afraid to start, that small beginning you've been putting off because you think you need a bigger start. Sometimes the dream doesn't wait for perfect conditions. It waits for bold obedience. The truth is, you are more ready than you realize. You've been equipped with talents, ideas, creativity, and resilience. You might feel like you're not enough, but the dream inside you is proof that you are. Dreams don't land randomly. They are placed by design. They are evidence that you were made for more. But dreaming alone won't change your life. Wishing alone won't build the future. Action is what makes the dream a reality. And it always starts with one bold step. You might say, but what if I fail? Let me tell you, failure is not the enemy. Staying stuck is. Failure teaches you, grows you, strengthens you. Every success story has chapters of mistakes, wrong turns, and lessons learned. Taking a bold step doesn't guarantee that everything will go perfectly, but it does guarantee that you are moving forward. And forward movement always attracts favor, growth, and new opportunity. You don't have to take 10 steps today. You don't have to climb the entire mountain. Just one bold step is enough. One phone call, one meeting, one commitment, one application, one investment of your time. When you do what you can, God does what you cannot. When you move in faith, the impossible becomes possible. And here's the beauty. Your bold step isn't just about you. Someone else's breakthrough may be connected to your obedience. Someone else's hope may be ignited by your courage. When you take that bold step, you're not just building your own dream. You're creating ripples that will bless others for generations. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Don't wait until you feel fearless. Don't wait until you have every resource. Boldness is moving even when you feel unsure. Boldness is trusting that the one who gave you the dream will also guide your steps. Boldness is deciding that your future is worth the risk of faith. Today, take one bold step toward your biggest dream. It doesn't have to be flashy. It doesn't have to be big in the eyes of the world. It just has to be real. It has to be from your heart. Move toward what sets your soul on fire. Move toward the future you can see when you close your eyes and dare to believe. Because one bold step today can lead to a lifetime of dreams fulfilled tomorrow. There's a power in your words that is stronger than you realize. What you speak over your life shapes how you see yourself, how you face the day, and how you respond to challenges. Every morning, before the demands of the world rush in, before the opinions of others try to define you, you have a sacred opportunity to set the tone. You can either speak defeat, doubt, and discouragement, or you can speak hope, strength, and victory. It only takes a moment, but that one positive declaration can shift the atmosphere around you and the mindset within you. That's why it's so important to speak one positive thing over your life every morning. You don't have to deliver a long speech. You don't have to come up with the perfect words. It's not about eloquence. It's about intention. When you wake up and intentionally declare something positive, something life-giving, you are planting seeds for the day ahead. You're telling your mind, your spirit, and even your circumstances what kind of day it's going to be. You're not leaving it to chance. You're not waiting to see what happens. You're taking authority and setting the direction with your word. Maybe you've been waking up and immediately thinking about everything that's wrong, the problems at work, the family issues, the things you're worried about. And it's understandable. Life can be overwhelming. But when you start your morning by focusing on the negative, it becomes harder to see the opportunities and blessings around you. It's like putting on glasses that only let you see what's wrong. But when you speak one positive thing over your life, first thing in the morning, you change your lens. You start to see possibilities instead of problems. You start to expect favor instead of failure. Your words have creative power. What you speak, you begin to believe. What you believe, you begin to act on. And what you act on, you eventually see. That's why it's so crucial to speak life over yourself, even before you feel it, even before you see it, even before everything looks the way you want it to look. To speak by faith, not by sight. Declare, today is going to be a good day. I am strong and capable. I am blessed and highly favored. Good things are coming my way. It may seem simple, but simple doesn't mean powerless. Simple can be life-changing when it's consistent. You may not control everything that happens today. Challenges may come. Delays may happen. People may disappoint you. But if you start the morning with a positive declaration, you've already anchored yourself in hope. You've already reminded yourself that you are not at the mercy of circumstances. You've already made a decision that no matter what comes, you are going to walk through it with peace, confidence, and expectation. Over time, speaking one positive thing every morning builds a new mindset. Instead of dreading the day, you start anticipating it. Instead of fearing the future, you start embracing it. Instead of constantly seeing what's missing, you start celebrating what's already good. Gratitude grows, faith expands, confidence rises, and it all starts with one choice every morning: to speak life. Some days it will be easier than others. When everything is going well, it's natural to speak positive things. But on the days when life feels heavy, when you're tired, discouraged, or unsure. That's when it matters most. That's when speaking one positive thing becomes a declaration of faith. That's when you're not just speaking what you see, you're speaking what you believe. And those are the days when your words carry the greatest weight. Don't underestimate the power of small habits. Speaking one positive thing every morning might seem too simple to make a real difference, but consistency compounds. Over weeks, over months, over years, those positive declarations will build a reservoir of strength inside you. You'll find that you're more resilient, more joyful, more courageous, not because life got easier, but because you chose to see it differently. You don't have to wait until your life is perfect to speak positively. Start now, right where you are. Speak what you want to see, not just what you currently see. Speak to the dream, the healing, the opportunity that's on its way. Your words are paving the road for your future. Every morning, before you check your phone, before you let the worries of the day rush in, pause, take a deep breath, and speak one positive thing over your life. It will seem small at first, but over time, it will create a big change. You have the power to speak life, hope, and victory. One morning, one declaration, one day at a time. Fear is one of the most powerful forces that can limit your life. It has a way of whispering doubts, magnifying obstacles, and convincing you that where you are is safer than where you could be. Fear is subtle. It disguises itself as caution, as logic, even as wisdom sometimes. But deep down, fear is not meant to protect you. It's meant to paralyze you. That's why today, it's time to let go of one fear that keeps holding you back. You may not even realize how much control that one fear has over your decisions. Maybe it's fear of failure. Maybe it's fear of rejection. Maybe it's fear of not being good enough, of stepping out and not being accepted, of trying something new and falling short. Whatever it is, as long as you allow that fear to stay, it will build walls around your life. It will shrink your world, limit your growth, and hold your dreams hostage. Letting go of fear doesn't mean you won't ever feel afraid. It doesn't mean the butterflies in your stomach will disappear overnight. It means you refuse to be controlled by it anymore. It means you acknowledge the fear, but you move forward anyway. Courage isn't the absence of fear. It's the decision that fear will not have the final say. It's the determination that the life you are called to live is more important than the fear trying to stop you. Fear thrives in uncertainty. It feeds on the unknown. It tells you, what if you fail? What if you get hurt? What if it all goes wrong? But what if it goes right? What if stepping out leads to the greatest season of your life? What if letting go of that one fear opens doors you couldn't even imagine? You'll never know until you dare to trust more in the possibilities than in the problems. There's a freedom that comes when you decide to let go. It's like taking off a heavy backpack you didn't even realize you were carrying. You start to move lighter, dream bigger, and believe deeper. Fear will always try to creep back in. It will whisper in the quiet moments, in the pivotal decisions. But every time you let go, every time you choose faith over fear, you get stronger. You build a new pattern, a new normal where boldness, not fear, leads the way. Letting go of one fear is not about tackling everything at once. Sometimes we think we have to conquer all our fears overnight, but it starts with one fear that has wrapped itself too tightly around your potential. One fear that has stolen too much of your time, too much of your energy, too much of your joy. Identify it, name it, and then make the decision, today I let this go. Maybe that means having a conversation you've been avoiding. Maybe it means submitting an application you've been too nervous to fill out. Maybe it means standing up for yourself, chasing that dream, or trying again after a setback. Whatever it is, the first step is letting go of the fear that says you can't. The moment you stop agreeing with fear, you start agreeing with possibility. You have more in you than fear wants you to believe. You are stronger than you know. Fear magnifies your weaknesses, but faith magnifies your strength. Fear reminds you of what went wrong before. Faith reminds you of what can go right now. When you let go of one fear, you take one step closer to the life you were created for, a life of courage, adventure, and fulfillment. And remember, letting go is not a one-time event. It's a daily choice. Some days you might feel that fear trying to creep back in. You might hear the old doubts knocking at the door of your heart. But you can stand firm. You can say, no, I've let that fear go. It has no place in my future. Little by little, that fear loses its grip. And little by little, your confidence grows. Today, you have a decision to make. You can keep carrying that fear and letting it decide how far you go, or you can let it go and step into new possibilities. It's not about being fearless. It's about being brave enough to move forward even with trembling hands and a racing heart. It's about choosing faith over fear, courage over comfort, destiny over delay. Let go of one fear that keeps holding you back. Your future is too bright. Your calling is too great, and your life is too valuable to stay stuck. Freedom is waiting for you, not on the other side of perfection, but on the other side of fear. Take that step, release that fear. Step into the bold, beautiful life you were always meant to live. Forgiveness is one of the most powerful, freeing acts you can ever do, not just for others, but for yourself. Carrying anger, resentment, bitterness, it weighs you down in ways you may not even fully realize. Sometimes the heaviest burdens aren't the ones we see, but the ones we carry silently in our hearts. That's why today it's time to forgive one person you've been carrying in your heart. When you hold on to hurt, it becomes like a chain that ties you to the past. You can move forward physically, you can build new things, you can even smile on the outside, but inside you're still connected to that pain. Every time you think about what happened, every time you rehearse the offense, you're giving a little more of your energy, your peace, your future to something that's behind you. Forgiveness is the key that unlocks the chain. It's the choice to say, I'm not letting what they did keep me stuck any longer. Forgiveness doesn't mean what they did was okay. It doesn't minimize the hurt or excuse the wrong. Forgiveness doesn't say it didn't matter. It says it mattered deeply, but I'm choosing to let it go so it doesn't control me anymore. When you forgive, you take back your power. You take back your joy. You take back your future. You refuse to let someone else's actions have the final say over your story. Hearing on to unforgiveness doesn't hurt anybody. But here's the truth. Holding on to unforgiveness doesn't punish them. It punishes you. Forgiveness is not easy, it's not natural. Everything in you may want to hold on to that anger, to get even, to make them feel the weight of what they did. But here's the truth. Holding on to unforgiveness doesn't punish them. It punishes you. It steals your sleep, your peace, your ability to trust and love freely again. Forgiving one person doesn't mean you have to invite them back into your life. It doesn't mean you have to be best friends. Forgiveness is not about reconciliation with them. It's about restoration within you. It's about cleaning out the space in your heart that was filled with anger and making room for peace, joy, and new beginnings. Some relationships may never be the same, and that's okay. Forgiveness is about freeing yourself, not fixing the past. There's someone you've been carrying in your heart, maybe for weeks, maybe for years. Every time you think about them, you feel that sting, that knot in your stomach, that heaviness in your chest. That's the sign that it's time to let it go. You don't have to wait until you feel like forgiving. Forgiveness is a decision, not an emotion, and often the feelings follow the choice. You might have to forgive more than once. You might have to remind yourself tomorrow and the next day and the next, I've forgiven them. I'm not carrying that hurt anymore. Healing is a process. Some wounds take time to close. But every time you choose forgiveness, you're taking another step toward freedom. Every time you refuse to pick up the offense again, you're building a stronger, healthier heart. Forgiveness doesn't erase the lessons you've learned. It doesn't mean you forget the wisdom that pain has taught you. It means you carry the wisdom forward without carrying the wound. It means you take the lessons but leave the bitterness behind. It means you choose to move forward lighter, freer, stronger. Today, choose to forgive one person you've been carrying in your heart. Maybe it's someone from long ago. Maybe it's someone close to you right now. Maybe it's even yourself. Whoever it is, let them go. Release them from the prison of your anger. Release yourself from the prison of your past. You'll find that forgiveness unlocks doors you didn't even realize were closed. Creativity flows again. Joy returns. Relationships heal. Dreams reignite. Forgiveness makes space for the new things God wants to do in your life. It's not a weakness. It's one of the greatest acts of strength you will ever perform. You were not created to live weighed down by bitterness. You were created for freedom, for wholeness, for abundant life. Don't let the hurt of yesterday rob you of the beauty of today. Let go. Forgive. Set yourself free. One person, one decision, one powerful step closer to the life you were meant to live. Deep inside every heart, there's a dream, a hope for something more, something greater, something that makes life feel full and meaningful. You were created to dream, to envision possibilities, and to reach for things that seem beyond your current reality. But over time, disappointments, delays, and doubts can make it easy to let go of those dreams. Life happens, setbacks come, and before you know it, the dream feels too big, too far away, too impossible. But today, it's time to believe again. It's time to believe one big dream for your future. Believing in a big dream doesn't mean you have all the answers. It doesn't mean you can see every step ahead. It simply means you're willing to trust that what's in your heart was placed there for a reason. That dream is not random. It's not foolish. It's a glimpse of the potential inside of you waiting to be realized. When you believe in that big dream, you're saying, I refuse to settle where I am. I know there's more ahead for me. Sometimes a dream looks too big because you're trying to figure out how it will happen. You look at your resources, your qualifications, your connections, and you think, there's no way. But believing one big dream is not about your ability. It's about your availability. It's about saying, I don't have to know how it will happen. I just have to be willing to believe that it can. Big dreams aren't achieved by those who have it all figured out. They're achieved by those who dare to keep believing even when it doesn't make sense. Believing in one big dream gives you direction, it gives you energy, it gives you a reason to get up in the morning and keep moving forward even when the road gets tough. Without a dream, life becomes routine. It becomes about survival instead of significance. But when you have a dream, every day has potential. Every challenge becomes a stepping stone. Every small victory becomes a glimpse of the bigger picture coming together. You don't have to have 10 dreams or a detailed 5-year plan. Just one big dream is enough to ignite your passion and set your spirit on fire. Maybe it's starting your own business. Maybe it's writing a book, building a ministry, raising a family, traveling the world, helping others, or making a difference in your community. Whatever it is, dare to believe in it. Speak it out loud, write it down, see it in your mind, and refuse to let go. Believing one big dream doesn't mean you'll never face obstacles. In fact, the bigger the dream, the more likely you are to face resistance. But obstacles are not there to stop you. They're there to strengthen you. They teach you perseverance, resilience, and faith. Every challenge you overcome builds the character you need to carry the dream when it comes to pass. You may not see results immediately. Dreams often take time, longer than we expect. There will be seasons of waiting, seasons of sowing seeds when nothing seems to be happening. But don't be discouraged. Just because you don't see movement doesn't mean the dream isn't growing. Some of the most powerful growth happens underground, out of sight, before the breakthrough comes. Keep believing, keep showing up. Keep preparing your life for the dream you know is meant for you. Sometimes it's not about achieving the dream tomorrow. It's about believing in it today. Belief fuels action. Action brings progress. Progress builds momentum. And before you know it, what once seemed impossible starts to unfold right before your eyes. It starts with a decision, one decision to believe. Other people may not understand your dream. They may tell you it's unrealistic, too ambitious, too risky. That's okay. They weren't given the dream. You were. You don't need everyone to believe in it. You just need to believe in it yourself. And if you stay faithful, if you stay committed, one day the dream will speak for itself. Today, believe one big dream for your future. Dust it off if you have to. Pick it back up if you've let it fall. Dare to hope again. Dare to imagine again. You are not too old, too young, too late, or too limited. You are right on time for the destiny that's ahead of you. Your best days are not behind you. They are still out in front of you, wrapped up in that big dream, waiting for you to believe. Believe boldly. Believe passionately. Believe like it's already on the way. Because when you believe in one big dream, you position yourself for a life beyond what you ever thought possible. Your future is calling. It's time to answer with faith, with hope, and with a heart full of unstoppable belief. Today you've been invited to take one simple, powerful step, just once, to choose something bold, something healing, something freeing for your life. It's not about changing everything overnight. It's about doing one thing that moves you closer to the life you were created to live. Maybe for you it's deciding to start fresh, to close the door on regret and open the door to possibility. Maybe it's choosing to change your perspective, to finally see yourself the way you were meant to be seen, full of purpose, full of potential. Maybe it's letting go of one fear that's been holding you hostage, forgiving one person you've been carrying in your heart, or daring to believe one big dream for your future. Whatever it is, your life can change in one moment of courage, one moment of decision, one moment of faith. You're not too far gone. You're not too broken. You're not too late. Everything can begin again if you'll just do this once. One step of obedience, one act of surrender, one move toward healing, one leap of faith, one dream dared to be believed again. Don't underestimate the power of what you choose to do today. The ripple effects of one decision can reach farther than you can imagine. Your future is bigger than your fear. Your destiny is stronger than your doubt. And the best part, you're not doing it alone. Every step you take, you're being guided, strengthened, and prepared for the incredible future ahead. So today, do this once. Choose the bold thing. Choose the healing thing. Choose the hopeful thing, and watch how that one choice opens the door to a lifetime of new beginnings, blessings, and victories. Your best days are still in front of you. Your story isn't finished yet. And this one step could be the start of the greatest chapter you've ever lived.